Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. The Center for Reproductive and Sexual Health in New York, which was run by hardcore then abortion activist Bernard Nathanson, was supposed to be a beacon of light in the enlightened era of safe legal abortion. Their records were used to prove to the Supreme Court in the Roe versus Wade discussion before abortion was legalized nationwide that abortion could be performed perfectly safely in freestanding, uninspected, unlicensed facilities just based on the goodness of the doctors' hearts. They could totally be trusted. Yeah, it's also the place where you can simultaneously be pink, responsive, alert, and dead. On August 10th of 1988, a 19-year-old patient who was identified as KB in medical board documents was given anesthesia for a safe, legal 14-week abortion at Crash. Life Dynamics calls her Kelly on their Blackman wall, so I refer to her as Kelly as well. During the procedure, she showed signs of distress: pale complexion, weak pulse, dilated pupils, and darkened blood. Although she started showing these signs of distress at around 12:15 or 12:30, notice that there's a big 15-minute gap in when they notice that she's in distress. Nobody bothered to call an ambulance until 1:05 p.m. Kelly was transported to Cabrini Medical Center, where she was pronounced dead from complications of anesthesia. Now, after the death, the health department investigated and discovered a mystery. Kelly's chart listed her post-operative condition as pink, responsive, alert, even though she was in full cardiorespiratory arrest, aka dead, at the time noted on that assessment. Of course, the inspectors found out that the post-op chart had been written before the abortion was even started. I've seen that done in other abortion facilities. There are other things that the inspectors found at Crash that I've also seen at plenty of other abortion facilities. Of course, the abortion lobby, looking out for women's safety, is far too busy fretting about people handing out diapers to worry about the kinds of conditions that were going on at Crash. Inspectors noticed that the place did not employ proper monitoring equipment or procedures. They had no working EKG machine. They didn't have a cardiac defibrillator. No one on staff was qualified to perform CPR. Oh my God, you get so tired of that refrain. I ought to start a whole category of nobody on staff qualified to perform CPR, given how common that is. No one on staff was qualified to administer anesthesia. But at least they didn't have the janitor like Joe Bills Reynolds. They didn't use proper procedures or equipment. Anesthesia was administered by eye, meaning nobody was accurately measuring the dosage, and the inspectors estimated that the typical dose given to patients was twice that recommended in the procedure manual. The operating rooms were found to be ill-lit. There was no soap or paper towels at the scrub sink. The scrub sinks were stained, the walls and floors were dirty, and trash was stored in the scrub room. There were red makeup stains on the oxygen masks and nitrous oxide masks, and dusty tubing on suction machines, and blood on the wheels of the operating table. Are you hearing a pattern here? If you're following either my blog or this channel, this is starting to sound kind of repetitive. Crash also had no documentation verifying the credentials or qualifications of their medical director, Dr. David Gluck. Gluck had been previously convicted of felony charges related to the sale of 48,000 Dilaudid tablets to pay off his gambling debts. His license had actually been revoked 2 months before Kelly's death, but had been restored due to judicial stay. There was no evidence during this investigation, held 2 weeks after Kelly's death, that Gluck had reviewed her chart or the charts of 18 other patients identified as having suffered complications. Again, this does not surprise me. Edward Campbell Allred, aka Fast Eddie, admitted in a deposition in the death of Deanna Bell that he never performed a preventability study after a patient death. You know, who cares, right? It's not like they're handing out diapers or some horrible thing like that. The state closed Crash for 60 days, but it never reopened. Gluck went on to perform the fatal abortion on Alerte de Sanjes in 1994. And according to the Abortion Doc's website, he's working at ParkMed now. Yes, where Don Ravenel, Mendoza, I think, and Venus Ortiz underwent their quacktastic fatal abortions. Yeah, pro-choicers, don't worry about places like this. Don't worry. Legal equals safe. The legalization fairy will take care of all of that. Make sure you focus all of your attention on those nasty diaper dispensing places. Those are the dangerous ones.